Hey y'all, welcome to another video from the Dope Librarian. That's me. If you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, click, share, comment. Let's have a discussion. So once again, I'm coming to you all for part 2 from An American Marriage by Tyree Jones. Author is Black. Story is amazing. It's for anyone, so that's the beauty of it. She was an Oprah Book Club selectee, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so today's topic may be, a lot less like jovial or, it's about the idea of consent and rape within marriage, which is a topic that came up in this book here. So for starters, I'm going to quickly put on my legal hat. Boom. And I want to say that rape within marriage is possible. You can be someone who is raped while being married. Each state has their own laws. Each state has their own level of criminal intent that go along with that. So I cannot give anything flat out for all states, but I will say that contact your local police department, contact victims advocacy groups, contact your local crisis shelters or prevention hotlines or anything like that to ask someone what are the rights and what's on the books in your state. Are there still some states that say you cannot be raped in your marriage? I believe that there are. I believe that those states I don't know, those states may be down south, but at this point, I don't know what all the states are. So, which is why I'm imploring you that if you think that you have been raped within your marriage, please reach out to someone. Know that that is something that is possible to happen. Don't psych yourself out to think, oh, I can't be raped within my marriage. You can. Okay, so now we're going to go into the book's discussion of this. So in the book, Roy goes to prison. He is accused of rape. He's sentenced to 12 years. He gets out of prison in 5 years. When he gets out of prison, he does have sex with another woman that he meets, that he sort of vaguely remembered from high school. He then goes back to Atlanta, which is where his wife lived, and he, he would like some sex from her. That's that. So, during, one of their encounters, first I want to talk about Celestial's thought on it, which is the wife. She says at some point in the book, I feel like I owe him this much. I owe him sex. I feel like I am obligated to do this for him. I mean, I am his wife, right? So let's just talk about that down. Do you feel obligated to have sex with your husband simply because you're his wife? And I completely understand the idea from a biblical point of reference that when you become married, you're joined as one, the body becomes one. So it's, my body is no longer mine, it belongs to you. Your body's no longer yours, it belongs to me. We get that in the spiritual sense of things. But I was really taken aback by the idea that it was, I owe him that much. No, in this context, you all owe yourself the time to get back to that point. You owed yourself the time to have a discussion, seek counseling, get back in that married sense. At this point, 5 years in prison, this man is a stranger. I mean, even with the happiest of marriages prior to him going into prison, this man became a stranger. He's different. He's new. You're different. You're new. And you wouldn't just go out and have sex with, most people are not just going to go out and have sex with someone on the street corners. So, y'all, I do not think that you are obligated. Sorry, I'm moving. My leg fell asleep. You are not obligated to have sex with your husband to the point of having to force yourself into it. I mean, she literally, like, take off the clothes, let me just lay here, let me, like, let you just get it over with, let me make, no, if you are, now don't get me wrong, in marriage there are times where you're not feeling like having sex, right? And you know, you still do it, and that's from both sides. Sometimes the man isn't feeling like it, but the wife wants it. Sometimes the wife isn't feeling like it, but the husband wants it. You know, I do think that there are those times, but I'm talking about to the level of, I do not want to have sex with you. In fact, she was in a different relationship, which is a whole other, you know, a whole other thing. But she just did not want to have sex, like, at all with him. Not today, not tomorrow, not because I'm not feeling like a sexual person right now, not because of I'm too tired, not because I'm sick, not because today is just overwhelming. No, I don't want to have sex with you. And yet she said, I owe this to you. No, no, we don't. We don't owe you anything. Like, I'm sorry you went to prison. I'm so sorry about that. That sucked for you. It sucked for me. It sucked for our marriage, our future children, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not about to just be laying down with you just because you call me wife. Just because our name is together on a sheet of paper, or even is bound up in heaven. I do not think that the good Lord has called me to say, I have to absolutely have sex with you. I owe it to you. I owe you nothing. I owe nothing, okay? So in this book, I was like, girl, you don't owe that man your body. That's the most intimate, protected place of yours. No, it belongs to you. Your body is yours, and you give it to whom you want to give it to when you want to give it to them. Now, if you decide, say, hey, you know, today I'm not really feeling well, but I still want to give my body to my husband. Perfectly fine. When you're doing it out of pure obligation, but with, like, complete dread, like, she did not want to do this, and I'm like, no, sis, back up, go sleep on the couch, leave. Tell him no, like, no, you don't want this. So that's the first thing. That's my opinion. Let me know if you all disagree or if you agree. Like, do you owe it to someone to have sex with them? Like, because I don't owe you sex. I just don't do it. Like, I may owe you $5. I may owe you a drink because you bought me a drink. You know, stuff like that. And that's with prior conversation of, you buy me this drink, I got the next one. It ain't because you just decided to send a drink to me, now I owe you. There are very few cases in which I am obligated to do anything or in which I owe you. And if you did not hear me saying to you, hey, I owe you one, guess what? I don't owe you anything, okay? And I try to live my life in such a way that I don't owe anybody except the Department of Education. Besides them, though, you know, I try not to be owing people, okay? The next thing, while they are, you know, trying to figure this part out, she says, at least, you know, like, get protection. And he's like, why would I get protection? Because you just came from prison. It's like, now, we can, people can make believe that for 5 years, no, nothing happened. And perhaps it didn't. Is it possible to leave prison without raping someone, being raped in prison, or having consensual sex in prison? Is it possible to walk away from prison without those things happening? Yes, they are. I mean, yes, it is. Is it likely? I'm going to go with no. So if you show up after prison, I'm going to ask you for protection. But anyway, that's really not the point of this. But he did not like that part. So then he says to her, you know I can take it, right? I said, Roy, no. I mean, I was literally like, please, prison, do not say you made a rapist out of this man. He went in completely innocent. He was a ladies' man. Sounds very handsome. Sounds very charming, and accused of rape, right? Which he did not do. And to say that to your wife, you know I can take it, right? Oh my God, it just hurt my heart, child. I just felt bad for Roy. Just like, what did prison do to you? Then I felt bad for her because in that moment, you don't know what prison made him. You don't know if prison literally turned him into this person. Thankfully, it did not. But so the discussion here is not about that because he did not do it. But the discussion is, do men feel like that? Like, I can take it, like, because I'm physically able to overpower you. And this is in the context of marriage. We do understand, rape outside of that, and that stuff happens. I'm just wanting to keep this within the marriage because that's what the book is. Like, I could not imagine, like, being in a relationship and because my partner, my spouse, is physically bigger than me, physically stronger than me, them saying, I can take it, right? Because I asked for protection or because I say tonight I don't want to. Hence why rape within marriage is possible and it's prosecutable, okay? So people, yes, rape happens and it's prosecutable, okay? So that means contact someone if you think that's happening, because that should not be happening. You do not get to say to me as your wife, oh, you're asking for protection today, I'll just take it. No, you will not. You will not take anything. I just can't imagine that being the life of someone on a daily basis where, because you feeling it today, that means I have to give it up. So I was completely just thrown off by that. I was so shocked. And mind you, I previously was a domestic violence attorney. So I want to make it like, it's not shocking to the point where I've never heard this before, but it's just getting this full context, like, kind of understanding the character. I was more so shocked that he said it, given that he was like this good person, but that also lets us know that we don't know who people are who are raping. Like, there are people who completely come off as sweet, innocent, and kind to us, but they are terrorizing someone else at home, on the streets, at work. Just like, we don't know. Which is why I want to use this time, honestly, just to say, seek help if this is happening to you. Your home should be a safe place. Your partner, the person who loves you, should not be bringing you hurt, harm, danger of any kind. I mean, even accidents should be so rare. Like, you don't get to step on my toe accidentally every day. Like, pretty soon I'm gonna think, hey, something is wrong with this picture. You should be safe at home. You should especially be safe in your marital bedroom. That should be a place of love where the only sex that is happening is the kind that is consensual. And when I say consensual, I mean that both parties are in agreement to have sex at that time. Okay? Now, once again, you could say, I don't really feel like it today, but I want to have sex with my husband. That is consent. That is someone who's saying, I want to do this. So both parties are in agreement. If you're saying, hey, I am tired, I don't want to. He keeps nagging. Hey, I'm tired, I don't want to. Next thing you know, you're flipped over and someone is on top of you. You didn't consent to that, okay? You didn't request that. You didn't say yes to that. That should not be happening within your marriage. And if you need, please speak to somebody, talk to somebody about that. That should not be happening. So that was the second discussion point that I got from an American marriage, was just this idea of rape within marriage, and what is consent. Was she consenting when she laid down and felt obligated to? From the male point of view, when she laid down and was like, yes, I can foresee that someone's like, yeah, she did that, yes. So my point is, you should not have to feel that way. Like, oh my God, I just absolutely have to. If you're made to feel that way, that's where I think there's a question of the consent issue of the rape. Like, I feel obligated. I feel like I owe him. I have to lay down. Or you even feel like there's a consequence that could come if you don't lay down. That is forced sex. It can't be you either have sex with me or I'll beat you. You have sex with me or I won't pay the bills. You have sex with me or you're going to be locked out the house. If sex comes with this condition, you might be borderline on the rape line. But once again, I mean, I don't know. Those things come from whatever state that you live in, and some of that's also your ideals of what is consensual, which is why sex, while so beautiful, is also one of the things that's most brutal, and it's very difficult to discuss, to talk about. It's difficult to state where's the line of consent, because once again, one party may say that when Celestial laid down and was she felt obligated, she felt she felt like there was a repercussion, she felt like she had to. Some will call that rape. Some would say, hey, she still made the decision outside, because he didn't say anything about her having to. In fact, he actually said at some point, you don't have to do this. And she said, I have to. And some people would say, well, then, at that point, it's not rape. It's not that was consensual. I would say, if you're having sex with someone who seems like they don't want to be there, who you think would rather have a latte or be taking a nap or watching TV at that moment, perhaps you just shouldn't have sex with that person. That way it makes it easy where you don't have to decide, or they don't feel pressured into this pressured into having sex, and you're not sitting there saying, oh, did you consent? Did you not consent? If the person is like looking, feeling, responding like I could be anywhere else, laying there like a dead board, if there are no bodily responses, if there's, and even still, because I did watch an episode of Law and Order SVU where the guy still had an erection even though he was raped, and then there was the one thing with the girl who was aroused, like her body did it, but she had actually been saying no. So your body can betray you and stuff like that. So when I was talking about those cases, I'm talking about like you're just looking at a dead like a body, just back away. That person don't want to have sex with you. Like just walk away. Like leave it alone. So I think that this book brings up amazing discussions just about that in general. I mean, we could literally talk for about half an hour just on those scenarios by itself. The idea of protection, the idea of being obligated or forced rape in marriage or sex in marriage. I mean, literally, people, I mean, there are lawyers who do this all the time. There are crisis workers who do this, social workers who victim advocates who specifically work on this right here within the context of marriage. The reason this is out there is because it really is a big question of when is it just something that goes like happens in marriage, or when is it rape within the marriage? It is difficult, and it is a very, very hard topic, a hard time, and a hard thing to discuss and decide, especially within the context of marriage. Like, rape is hard anyway to prove, but when you're talking about two people who've already pledged to live and to love and to have sex consensually for life, it's very hard to then go back and say, hey, but last night I didn't consent to that. So I think for that reason, once again, that's another reason why I like the book, because it just brought up that discussion, which I don't think we talk about a lot. And once again, it's something that I've seen a lot of times in my previous work, where folks were coming in trying to get protective orders, peace orders, divorces, trying to get away. And those were some of the things that were happening and the difficulty in proving that. But no matter how difficult it is much better to go and tell and to see what are my options for prosecuting this or just getting away from it, so that it does not continue to happen. So anyway, kind of heavy, but I think it was a very real topic. So if you want to comment, please comment below. I'm happy to do follow-up videos on this. I'm happy to even do it by bringing someone else in who still actually works in that field, just to have a discussion about it, so that no one is feeling like they don't have the resources or the information out there. So anyway, please click, comment, share, and watch the next video, which is part 3 from An American Marriage, the next topic that has come up. So, all right, see you later.